Hi everybody, this is Katie with Katie DeGroff Knits, and in the previous video I showed you my little hack for never losing your dropped, slipped stitches for a smocked or quilted stitch. So be sure to check that out if you're wondering what all these markers are for. Now I'm going to actually show you how to work this smocked, wrapped, quilted stitch. So we are actually going to be joining our slipped, dropped stitches together and wrapping them. So how I like to work them is we are going to pick up our first dropped stitch off of our marker. Going to slip the next stitch off our left hand needle. Then we're going to pick up our second dropped stitch. And it doesn't matter how you pick them up right now, we'll fix that after. Now that these are on a needle, you can remove them off the marker. Now, when I slide them back to my right hand needle to be worked, I can correct them if they are twisted or however they need to be. Now, I have around my center stitch that's going to be wrapped. I have my slipped dropped stitch, my center stitch, and then my other slipped dropped stitch. Now, you're going to knit this first slip drop stitch and be sure you're slipping 5 stitches, so don't pull too tight. So you pucker your work, leave that nice and loose, and not the next round, but the round after that, you can come and pick all these floats up and keep them all nice and neat. So back to square one. I'm going to take this out so we can get sidetracked there. What you're going to do is you're going to knit your first stitch, again, keeping loose, slip your center stitch, and then knit this last slip stitch. And when you knit them, be sure that the legs are orientated in a way that this slip stitch that's going across your work is not going to be twisted, okay? I have twisted some because I haven't paid that much attention. It doesn't look terrible, but if you want it to look nice and crisp and neat, you want to make sure you orient your stitches the correct way so they're neatly across the front of your work. If that bothers you. If you don't care, it doesn't matter. Some people like the look of twisted and they'll actually twist them on purpose. So it's whatever you want to do. Whether you knit through the front or the back, however, to get them orientated correctly. Now that we have our 3 stitches worked, we're going to bring that working yarn to the front of our work. We're going to slip these 3 stitches back to our right hand needle. Keep your working yarn loose at this point. Do not pull it tight or you won't get pretty wraps. So bring the working yarn to the front, slip your 3 stitches you just worked back to your left hand needle, bring your working yarn around the front of them, slip them back to your left, bring the working yarn around again, slip them back to the right, and wrap once more. You now have 2 wraps, ending with your working yarn facing towards the rest of your stitches that need to be worked. Slip these back to your right hand needle and you're all done. Again, do not pull this tight or it's gonna pucker it and it may look a little sloppy right now when you go and work the other rows. It all evens out and you'll have nice, even wraps. So I'll show you that one more time. We're going to slip 5 stitches. We're going to go and pick up our first stitch, and you can pick up and knit at the same exact time if you want to, but I prefer to pick it up. Slip my next stitch, pick up my last stitch off this marker, remove the marker. Now I've got them all. I can slip them back. Now, when you go to knit them, it's like if I knit into the back of this stitch, it's going to be twisted. But if I knit into the front of it, it'll be straight. Again, watch your tightness over your 5 slip stitches. So we knit him, slip the next guy, then knit our third. Bring your working yarn to the front of the work, slip those 3 stitches just worked, back to your left hand needle, wrap your working yarn around the front, swap the guys back to your right hand needle, bring the working yarn to the front again, and wrap once more. Some people like to put their stitches on a totally separate needle or a cable needle to wrap them. I just prefer to slip back and forth. So do one more time, slip 5 here. So we pick up our first dropped stitch, slip our center stitch, pick up our last dropped stitch. Now we can get them off the marker. Now we put these guys back on our working right hand needle. Gonna knit the first one, making sure to keep your working yarn nice and loose over your 5 slip stitches. Slip the center stitch and then knit that last stitch. Bring your working yarn to the front, slip them, wrap, slip them, bring yarn to the front, put them back, wrap, and there you go. Now, I'll also show you if you want to knit them right away, you can pick up this first stitch. He wants to cooperate. And I can knit him. Then I can slip. Then pick up our second stitch and knit. You can knit them before you take them off the marker too. And now they're all done. Now you slip and wrap. However you prefer to do it. I kind of like to pick them up, take them off the marker, and then do it. But the way my patterns are written, just because it's easier to write it this way, is to pick up, knit, slip, pick up, knit, and then wrap. Just because it's easier to write. So, I hope that everybody will give this Smocked Quilted Wrapped Stitch a try. It is pretty. It's very pretty. And everything, if you get little elongated stitches or everything's not all nice and pretty and spaced out, blocking will help with that. It'll take care of it all. And don't worry about these slipped stitches. The next row, you can snag them and tuck them all in. So, happy knitting!